the life of relationship, social thinking, sensation, etc. And he treats them as two animals, as far as his medical inquiry is concerned. And then he will say these two animals are perfectly, we are accustomed to see them together, but from our point of view, they are perfectly separate and perfectly separable. And he will notice, he will say, the first one, the animal de dedans, the organic life, begins before, already the embryo is there, where there are no thinking, no relationship, and ends later. As you know, the vegetative life is the last one to end. And I think that you have immediately understood the meaning for that for the transplantation problems. Then this becomes the problem of establishing a border between the vegetative life or the animal life, the animal de dedans, and the other animal, and they will say, we can, the second one is dead, we keep the first one, which is still alive, no? Keep it through the reanimation machine. No? All the how do you call it? Reanimation machine? What do you call it? Resuscitation? Resuscitation? When the extreme stage, when someone has lost his conscience but still alive, then the machine makes the blood circulate.
Artificial respiration.
All these machines are just an application of Aristotle division. The machine who can keep this life going on separately from the second.
Life support.
Life support. All this life support therapy on which transplantation is found. Good. We'll see how. So how? Just to show how this. You must never forget the metaphysical operation are always physical, historical, scientific, are never neutral. So this strategy of Aristotle of separating the nutritive life then becomes life support therapy, etc., and all the rest. So the idea that something can be separated. There is you can life. So again, you never define what life is. Also in modern science, I always quote this great biologist, Nobel Prize Medawar. I always quote it. He writes, when I enter in a room, a colloquium, and I see that people are trying to define life and death, I go out below the scientific level. It's not interesting for a scientist to try to define. It's impossible, not interesting. But to be able to separate it, this is very interesting. So never defined, always divided. So we lack completely the idea of a unity of what life is. No possibility of defining it as a unity, but on the contrary, a lot of strategies in order to theoretically and practically divide it. So theoretically Aristotle and practically modern science. And practical also the camp, in the ways. So in the camp they had this problem to reach a point in which way vegetative life is preserved, all the rest is collapsed. Is this clear? This point also that life in our culture is what is never defined and always divided. I think it's a very important point, and it struck me a lot because when I began, I had the idea of making a genealogy of the term. So I went back to the corpus Hippocratic. I realized there was no definition there, and then I went on, never definition, always a division. In every field, in every domain. So again, so this concept of formal life is a kind of negative counterpart of this. So let's try to reflect what could be a model of life which is never divided, which is impossible to divide. Any question about this problem? And in a way, I think that in modern society, for instance, the medical pressure, the medical representation, all is a kind of pressure on each being, each individual, of a possible becoming a predicative of distinction. You can become ill. So there is a kind of threatening of this possible becoming operative of the division. So we modern, we are completely within this idea of division, in my opinion. In many ways, politically, medically, scientifically, we are almost accustomed, we find it normal. We find it normal. And for instance, the problem of biometric identification. What now is already on, but will be in the future a kind of total way of identification. So in the future, also in Europe now, the next identity ID will contain all the biological data, this and etc. So the identity comes only from vegetative life. The identity in the past came from the personal and social existence of the individual. So for up to not many years ago, the identity was what resulted from the recognition of the others. You are a poet, you are made like also a fan, but not a kind of a completely abstract things which has no relation with the other part. So, which is the relation between me as a philosopher, etc., and my, how do you say this, digital
fingerprint.
What is the relation? How can I identify myself with that? But in the future, no, it's already there, but in the future completely, the only identity which is recognized is this. Yes?
But didn't Aristotle make clear in the De Anima that this hierarchy of plant, animal, man, that animal isn't an incomplete man, plant isn't an incomplete animal. An animal isn't an incomplete man. Like, while each need must have the nutritive quality, it is essential for animals, and it can't be an animal, could not exist, could not be without touch. And then for man, the defining characteristic is nous. So, but these aren't, like, again, not treated as additives or add-ons to other primitive forms of life. They are one complete life itself. It's impossible to fathom human life without nous, or animal life without touch. Or sorry, without human life without nous, touch, and nutrition, vegetative qualities and whatnot. So I'm just having a bit of a difficulty as to how.
No, of course, Aristotle then thought that in man the life of the nous was the most important one. But as far as the definition of man as a living being, is living or not living, the arche was the